So on the last video, we talked about cognitive skills, and on this one, I'm going to show you where you can find information about cognitive skills within the platform using the Summit demo interactive for you to do it. And I encourage you to pause and try it with me if you want to see how to find information about cog skills. So even within the year page itself, you can see right here on the right side, the cog skill average for any given subject. Now, this is not the student's grade. It's just the cognitive skill average, right? So that's the part that counts for 70% of their grade. And you can see that the student is doing really well on the cognitive skills that were addressed in their science projects, but they need a little bit help on the math skills and, of course, on the cog skills for English as well. Now, if you click on the actual subject header, say, for example, this one in English, it will take you to a screen that will show you with the little question marks all the different cog skills that will be addressed across the different projects that the student will face this year. It will also show for the projects that have already been graded what the cog skills were. Apparently, the teacher has not finished grading the oral presentation yet, but once they do, the student will have a score listed here on this question mark as well. Now, because the student got a 3 or a 2.5, that is at a lower end where what you expected a 7th grader to be, and that's why they have a 74%. But they will have future opportunities in each of these skills to improve their scores. And so if they do better on the next time they get a hit on that cognitive skill, then their average will improve, because this column here that says the maximum, the best cognitive skill is the one that actually counts for the calculation of their grades, right? So that's kind of how that works. Now, if you actually look at science, right, because they scored higher in their science project, I actually click on the project, I have to click on the subject. So if you click on the science subject, you will see the cognitive skills of the year. And you see, because they have higher scores on those cog skills, they have a higher grade than they had in English. Another place that you can also see the cog skills is by clicking on the project itself. And then if you go to the project overview page where it gives you information about the project, here's a list of all the cognitive skills that this project will hit. And if you click on the rubric, it would actually show you that rubric we saw in the last video with everything the student needs to do to go from the next level. I encourage students to always do that at the beginning of any given project. And we do that kind of stuff with them. And at the top, you can see the range that you expect the grade level to hit, and that a 4.5 would be the highest level of expectation. You could go above that. If you click on one of the actual final products, let's say, for example, this area design model, and you click on the project itself, on the right side, you'll see the rubric and the score that the teacher is giving you. And often also in the bottom, you will see comments that the teacher left about why the work got the grade that it did. Now, if you go back to the home page and click on the week screen, you can click on the name of the subject here, and it will open a grading screen. And the same thing will happen if you're in the progress screen and click here on the name of the subject. And I like the progress screen because it actually shows the overall grade a student has. And we'll talk more about that in a future video about how the grades actually break down using examples. But on the projects tab, if you scroll down, you can also see a really cool breakdown of the cog skills as well. So here in English, you can see that because they scored on the lower end of the scale, they have a C. If they actually score below 2.5, they would actually be below average or off track on their average if their overall average was lower than 2.5, because that's the minimum that we expect a 7th grader to be at. But you can see that they will have other opportunities in these projects. So these little blanks show you how many more chances they get on that cog skill, and it also shows you the projects where they will have that opportunity next. And you can see the skills that haven't been assessed yet and the number of times they will be hit. So that's typical that most cog skills will be assessed multiple times throughout the year. It is possible that a skill will only be seen once, but that typically only happens when that skill has been seen a lot in previous years, so the student has had a lot of chance to improve them already, or it will be seen a lot in another subject. So even though the grade for each subject is calculated based on that subject alone, if the student has a chance to practice within other subjects, they will actually, when they face it in this subject, they can get a better score. So that's kind of the idea. Now, the idea is to have multiple opportunities across many years, across subjects and across projects to improve those skills. And I showed you a few places that you can actually track the student performance of those skills as the year goes by within the platform. So I hope you found this helpful. I'll see you in the next video. We're going to be talking about focus areas.